Alright guys, take a good look at Hulk. We're going to install Airtekk Stage 2 Plus airbag kit on my 2018 Camaro SS. Just take a good look at the ride height. We'll measure it all once we get to my buddy's house. That's the kit right there. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Something is still open in the car. What is still open in the car? Maybe nothing. Anyways, so today we are doing a massive install on the whole Camaro. I'm gonna post pictures and stuff later and videos and all that other stuff. But what I can tell you is he will no longer sit at the same ride height. A special shout out to Airtekk. That's as much as I'm going to tell you for now. So check back later for the big reveal. Alright guys, so here's the kit. We got the struts. There's two compressors. That's the Stage 2 Plus kit. We'll open it in a minute, and that's the tank. Again, it's all going in 2018 Camaro SS. Alright guys, so here's the kit out of the box. We got compressors, we got the front struts, the rear bags, all the kits in Ronnie's head. If you guys haven't checked out Black Betty, make sure you check him out on Instagram. I don't think he's got a YouTube yet.
I'm not cool enough.
And there's the tank, and then there's all the wiring, and then there's the management system. Alright, so what we've done to this point is we've put the car up on all 4 jack stands. As you can see, all the wheels are off. What we've done now is taken, loosened, pardon the fan noise, we loosened the fender liner so that we can run the Airlines down to the frame, which I'll show you guys that in a little bit. And then the back ones we've completely removed, because we've got to find a way to get the Airlines into the trunk, which you might be able to use that entrance point right there. And then the trunk, my buddy Phil is going to make a video about how he's going to put everything back here, and with all the connections and Airlines and all that other stuff. So that's what we've got so far. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get in, and we're going to start working one corner at a time, putting one system in at a time, and I'll take you guys along for the journey.
Hello. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we have to remove this front strut and spring, this whole setup. So we take a few bolts out here. This one here, light. These 2 bolts will come out. We might have to disconnect some of your lines here on this. And then on the top side, these 3 bolts.
Okay.
When we do that, I'm probably going to put a floor jack underneath to support the weight in case this swing arm wants to go down. That's pretty much it on this.
All right. All right, so what we're going to do is I've got a 22mm socket on this side. I've got a 21mm socket on this side. And we're going to take this top bolt off the front strut. Alright, so we broke those 2 nuts loose and took them off. There's also this one in the back, which is connected to that rod. So we're going to take that off. that is a 11/16 bolt. Alright, so we took that bolt out. Just use a impact gun, take the bolt all the way off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this bolt here and basically take all of this other stuff off of the strut. So there's nothing attached to it. As you can see, this is just like an alligator clip. And that's a 10mm bolt. And then now that should come off as well. Okay, so as you can see, I took this off. What I did is I just tucked them up under here for now, just so I can get these other bolts out. What I'm going to try and do is unscrew them from the backside and push them this way, and if not, I'll take a mallet and kind of push them out. Alright guys, sorry about the loud noise. Okay, so there's the new one versus the old one. That's quite a big difference. What we're going to probably end up having to do is extend this out to make up some of the difference. I mean, obviously we're going to have to adjust this on the fly. But at least you guys can see the difference. And then this is what it looks like out. 3 bolts up on the top, 2 bolts, and then just removing all the other clips and stuff. Hopefully I don't have a problem with this ABS wire, because I did pinch it, as you can see, with the fucking hammer. So I'm not super happy about that. Alright guys, so we have been debating for probably the last 30 to 45 minutes about how to adjust these to make sure they're the right height. There are no videos anywhere that talk about this adjustment compared to the stock height. As you can see, the way they come shipped, they're more compressed, or this right here is more compressed. So what we've decided to do is make this 19.5 inches from top to that bottom, which is 4 inches shorter than this stock one. And the reasoning behind that is supposedly these bellows expand 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches. So that's the difference here. We don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to try it and kind of go from there. Okay, so we originally couldn't get this piece here to fit into here no matter how we adjusted this, because the control arm or the sway bar link, this piece here, wouldn't move. So what we ended up having to do is loosen the other side of this and take it off, and then I had all kinds of room and it fit up. So make sure you do that as well. So now everything, all the bolts and stuff will line up. As you can see, I'm starting to put stuff back together. All these will line up here like they're supposed to. All that's in up there. So nothing's moving. I mean, it's moving, but I just gotta tighten it up. So that's how it's gonna look for now, at least. All right, so we're getting ready to do the passenger side front. So the only thing that I've done so far is I've broken these bolts loose, top and bottom. I've taken this bolt off. That's it. So what I'm doing now, so these are loose. I'm gonna take a mallet and I'm gonna push them this way. And the reason is because they're splined in here. So you can turn this all day long, but all you're gonna do is you're gonna round this out on the inside. So mallet, or not even a mallet, it's a steel thing here. You're just gonna tap this until it pops out. All right, so again, these 2 bolts, take those out. Take the 3 bolts out up top, so 1, 2, and there's one on the other side. Take that out. Take out, I don't know what this one is called, but take this out. Put it back in there, put that bolt in. Remember that you have to take this piece out on both sides in order to get it to align correctly, because your sway arm, this piece here, sway bar, is connected on both sides, so it'll lift together. So once you do the one side, the other side, it fits right in. You don't have to do any adjustments. And then you just put all the bolts and stuff back in. We're taking this bracket off, this plastic bracket off of the other one, which looks like this. It'll sit like this, and there it has this wire. Cool. Alright guys, so now we're going to tackle the back. So this is going to come off, that spring's got to come off, and we're going to replace it with the bag there, and then I've got a new strut that goes here. So we're going to start with taking this cover off, which means I got to pop all these plastic pins and stuff off. Alright, so just a quick update. So taking the back bolt out of the, I don't know what piece of shit that is, but
The swing arm?
the swing arm, yep. And then having to take that bolt out on the front side of it as well in order to push that bolt out in order to get that whole piece off. So that is a 15 that you're using, or is that an 18?
18.
18 millimeter bolts. It's a 15 on the back side, and then this one here is a 18 as well. Alright, so here's an update. So all I did is I put the jack underneath here, pushed or jacked it up a little bit, and then this ended up falling off, or falling down. So we can put that other bolt back in. So now I took the spring out. It's over there. That's what's going back in it. And then we gotta take this off as well. Again, there's 3 bolts there, 2 bolts here, one I already took off. It's an 18 millimeter on the side. And then let's put it back together. Alright, so we put this fitting in, but in order to do that we had to take these bolts out. And now the holes don't line up because it's pushing against the air fitting. What's the recommended course of action? I don't know, let's reach out to Airtekk. Alright, so I finally got it. What I had to do is I had to mill out the 2 bolt positions in order for it to fit. Luckily I had a drill bit that could cut through this aluminum, but I got it to fit. So let's go from there. Alright guys, quick update. So we got 3 of the 4 sides done. I look like a hot mess. But 3 of the 4 sides of the Camaro done. I'll keep giving you guys updates. Alright guys, quick update. So all 4 corners are done on the car. So the rear, super easy to install. So on this, as a stock setup, take those 3 bolts off. Take the bolt off that goes to the shock, which is behind here. You gotta pop this cover off, remember. And then underneath, you take this bolt off, put a jack under here while it's under there, and then this trailing arm literally comes all the way down. The spring comes off, the shock comes off, put everything back on, push that back up in there, and that's it. And you're good to go. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're running the lines, the Airlines. So what I've done is, so you always start from the back of the car and go forward. So where I'm running the lines is you've got this metal piece here. So I put some tape around it so it won't chafe against the line. And I basically run it under the car. So here's that white piece of tape. I run it through this welded piece of the frame all the way to the front. And I've used tape to hold it in place because it's going to sit underneath that felt stuff that goes underneath our cars. Okay, so on the front of the car where I ran the lines, so we've got this welded piece of aluminum here. So I ran it through one of the holes. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. So there's another hole. I ran it all the way through up in there. So what I'm going to do is I will put some tape under here to keep this from chafing as the car bounces around. Let me show you where it ran out from that hole. Okay, so sorry it's dark. Let me grab the flashlight. Okay, so there's the, oh, sorry. So there's the hose line, and there's the fitting that it's got to get attached to. So that part is coming up here shortly. Alright guys, so again, that's where I ran the Airlines. Up along there, I tie strapped it to the top of the strut tower. Pretty clear, doesn't touch anything. And what I did is the Camaro, they have these rubber grommets that drill holes. As you can see, there was already like dimples in it. So I just used 2 to 3 dimples, drilled holes through them, and pulled the line back. Alright, so looking inside the trunk, there's that rubber grommet. There's those 2 holes. Yes, I've got a secondary battery. So the lines are going to run along here, along this back, and then they're going to come this way into the manifold once I put my base down. And it's going to be the same thing for the other side. So you can see way back behind the battery. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. So you can see the grommet right there. So again, I'm going to drill 2 holes. I'm going to come up that way. I will run the lines behind the battery, and then come this way. And then I'll come right to the bottom of this, and then right into the manifold. Alright guys, so back on the front. So there's your airline. There's your airline. So I ran it up along here, along this this pad here, into the back. I left enough slack in here so when it raises and lowers, you can have some adjustments. But that's it. Now we just gotta test it. At least the driver's side is done. It's all wired. Everything's good to go. So we're getting there. Alright, good morning guys. It's Sunday. We're going to go finish up the car this morning. I'm on my way to pick up Captain America. We're heading to Black Betty's house. Get this thing finished. Picture's coming. Hi guys, welcome back. It's day 2 of the bag install on the Hulk Camaro. So what I'm going to do is walk you around the car just to kind of refresh what we did yesterday, and then tell you what we got to do today. Alright, so yesterday we installed all the bags and components and hardware on the rears. On the fronts. Got the setup going in the trunk. There's Black Betty. And then the trunk, like all the wiring and stuff is done. So Cap's gonna finish putting the trunk in today while Black Betty, aka Ronnie, and I go through and make sure all the bolts and everything are tight. Nothing is out of place, making sure there's nothing around the bags that could potentially rub against the bags, pop the bags. There's Cap. While Cap finishes the trunk, and hopefully by the time he's ready to put air in the system, we've got the rest of this buttoned up and we're good to go. So probably a couple hours today, maybe. Oh, and then Ronnie and I have to go check all of the lines and the fittings to make sure there are no air leaks. And if there are, we're going to somehow fix those by tightening them down or whatever. So more to follow.
Hey everybody, it's Phil, aka Captain America, helping out Hulk with his airbag system. So they're doing all the manual labor outside. I'm in charge of all the electronics. So what I have done is I have taken the piece of wood that we made for the back of Steve's trunk, and I have marked all the components that we're going to be putting in. The air tank, the 2 compressors, I only have one in here right now. The 2 compressors that will be sitting, one will be on this side, that one will be on that side. The manifold will be here in the middle, and then the tank will be behind it. So I am right now marking out the locations of where I have to mount this to the board. So once I get that done, I'll show you the finished product.
Hi guys, so now we're going to show you the trunk install with the wiring and how Cap ended up running all of the wires. I know it looks like a rat's nest under here, but I promise you it's really not. It's just there's extra wires. And the reason why there's extra wires is to account for taking this monstrosity out of the trunk. All right, Cap.
All right, so what we did, since we want to be able to remove and replace this board with all the components on it, what I did is the wires coming from the compressors, I put quick disconnects on them. So we have, what I did is I went to a grounding point on the side of the car, since everything else is aluminum. I went to the grounding point and I ran a large diameter grounding wire to a bolt and had all my grounds directed at that bolt. The relay for the system is back there.
Okay.
The relay for the system is back there with a couple of fuses in line with the system. That's what I attached to the existing board that we have back there. The line from the battery, which I already had from Steve's secondary battery, off of this 100 amp fuse circuit breaker, which goes over to his auxiliary battery over there. I just tapped in off of the accessory side of the circuit breaker. So that red line there is the supply to the relay, and then the other side is the compressors. So those red lines going from each side goes to that side of the relay. And then what you have is you have an accessory wire that I tied into the fuse box that turns on the relay when you start the car. And then there is a pressure switch up here that I put, it goes to the negative side of that, and then the other side of the pressure switch goes to ground, which is on that post there. And what happens is when it gets to the pressure, it kills the negative, the ground to the relay, and that turns the system on. So it does not let it over pressurize. And I think you said it was like 169, I think, is what it went up to, and then the system cut off. So we've already tested the system, made sure there's no leaks. So now we're just buttoning everything up. But that's essentially that's the core of the system right there, is that relay. So you have power from the ignition, a ground through the pressure switch that turns on the relay, that allows that battery power to go through to the compressors. And then all your lines up here are tied in. The compressor goes into each side of the tank.
We'll show you the guys here in just a few minutes. left my dude Ronnie's house for the first time. So the biggest issue so far is trying to find out the exact ride heights, and so it's basically the 5 settings on the Airtekk app. So I'm gonna have to play around with those a lot to get the exact height that I want to ride around in the car. But you want to talk about an extreme difference in the way the car looks when it's aired out versus stock is mind-blowing. I know you probably can't tell, but I am grinning from ear to ear on the inside because of the way the car looks. Right now, the car is perfect. I've got everything done to it that I ever wanted. Minus, there's a couple other cosmetic things I would like to do to the car. That's for a future video. But I will post another video and let you guys know after a day or two what I think. But I will post a video as soon as I get home as well on what the car looks like when I air it out. Let me know what you guys think. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. It's raining out. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not. But this is the third time I've driven the car since yesterday when I finished installing the airbags, the Airtekk Stage 2 Plus airbags. So far, I'm happy with it. I do need to get an alignment because my alignment's out of whack. But I am taking my first out-of-town trip with the car. I'm heading over to Niceville, which is like a 20-25 minute drive. That'll be the longest drive I've had so far on the system. Seems to be holding pretty well. It's weird seeing the numbers and the air on the airbags fluctuate a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little unsettling, but it's just gonna take some getting used to. The car does handle, for the most part, the same. I do get a little more bouncing, as you can tell with the camera. It's probably bouncing a little bit. Again, not a big deal. I don't really care. But for some people, it'd be like, I don't know if I want that. So if you want something a little more stiff, so to speak, maybe airbags aren't the way to go for you. But I will continue to give you guys updates throughout the next couple of weeks. If you have any questions, hit me up, let me know. I'm putting together the install video. Overall, it took probably 16 to 18 hours to put this thing on. That's because I had no idea how to take my Camaro suspension apart. That was the biggest, probably, lift on it. And then obviously it was the installing all the wires for the air tank and the compressors, making sure that was all squared away. But yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. We'll talk to you soon.
I was once told real gangsters go to heaven. For real though. 8, 9, 10, 11. Guess what? I spent 90 racks on an old ass Chevy. Call me Bumpy Johnson, I got hit up and kept on stepping. Lucky Luciano, where I'm from, I make shit happen. Pull up foreign snatching, I got a thing for fashion. I told her let's go to dinner, go get dressed and keep it classy. Under